guys, Dr. Christy Ennis. Welcome to Follow Me Friday, where motion is lotion. And today we are using the wall to help us stretch, support, and even increase our strength. Before we move to the wall, we want to make sure that we have the right posture set before we do anything else. I'm going to show you that away from the wall first. So if you're lying right on your back, you are going to flatten and arch that spine until you find a comfortable position. So that doesn't necessarily mean your back is all the way flat. It might be that you have a little arch in that spine, or it might mean that you're arched even more. The key thing is listen to your body and find where it's the most comfortable. For me, that's about right here. From here, you want to think about engaging into those deeper abdominal muscles. That's what we're really focusing on when we're going to be on the wall there. So you want to think about taking your belly button and just gently pulling it in. So I'm not holding my breath, I'm not sucking it in. Rib cage should not move at all. It's just a little gentle pull in. And then you are ready to start. All right, we are going to go right up against the wall, lying down to start. We'll have some standing exercises later. And yes, getting into the position counts as an exercise too. So I'm sitting relatively close to the wall. That helps me to get into the position first. So I'm going to just kind of swing my legs right around, and now I don't need to worry too much about scooching all over the place. We're starting with our legs straight. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, it's okay to have a bend in those knees. And it's also okay if you need to be a little further away from the wall than me based on what feels comfortable for you. I sometimes find that even putting a little block or a pillow underneath your hips can also help feel a little bit more comfortable. So remember that position that we started with as far as our spine position and our belly button. So get that set first. And we're actually going to work on those obliques as well as some hamstring mobility. So you don't need to count. You can just follow along with me. But you're going to keep this leg over here glued as best you can to the wall. Arms are going to come out to the side as long as that's comfortable. And then you're going to take the opposite leg and you're going to slide it out to the side as far as you can without this opposite hip popping up. Again, making sure that you're really focusing right on using those abs to kind of slide you out and slide you back in again. All the while, of course, you are breathing. And I've got my water bottle here with me today. This is an awesome exercise for anyone just starting out. We're really working on those beginner poses. But trust me, you can do this at any point in time in your Wall Pilates career and get a great benefit from it. So again, no equipment except, like I said, my water bottle, which has my LMNT in it, which I love, especially if you get sweaty like me. I am a big sweater. It's awesome because it doesn't have anything artificial in it, and it has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. I've got the watermelon flavor right now in there. We've got one more on this side, but I have not tried a flavor yet that I don't like, and there are a ton of flavors. And then we're going to switch sides. So same idea. You really want to make sure that this leg stays nice and steady and pressed in, and then the opposite leg is coming out. Now you'll notice I am not able to press that leg out as far as I am with the other one. That's okay. Listen to your body. So the other cool thing about LMNT is that for my listeners, that's you guys, if you go to drinklmnt.com/ChristyNS and you place an order, you will get a free 8-pack sampler, which has all the yummy flavors in it. So again, it is drinklmnt.com/ChristyNS. I'm even having to think about engaging my pelvic floor here a little bit more, right? So if you think about doing that Kegel, I will link a video too if you're unsure on how to do that. But boy, oh boy, all of this stuff in there is really working well. Making sure too that you're keeping those shoulder blades down at the same time. Again, so that we're just really engaging in through that core and not using any of the rest of that body. You'll notice too, as I'm going here, we just have one more after this, that I'm actually able to get a little bit more motion than when we first started. So here we go, last one, awesome stretch. Come on back. Staying right where you are, you're going to bend those knees and you're going to bring those heels and the soles of the feet towards one another. If the soles of your feet need to stay open, nothing wrong with that either. You're going to let them drop down as much as you can to get a nice inner thigh stretch. Again, it's okay if you need to keep them up here. Hands are going to go behind the head as long as it's comfortable. You're going to gently tuck that chin back. You want to think about leading from the abdominal muscles And then it's a little bit of a lift. So I'm working on those upper abs a little bit more here. Or I should say biasing those upper abs a little bit more. I'm exhaling as I come out. And I'm really making sure that I am not yanking my neck or pulling with my elbows, right? My head is staying in that nice neutral position. So I'm really focusing on letting those abs do the work versus my neck or any other part of my spine here. Keeping breathing nice and slow pace here, or I should say at least nice and controlled pace, right? Focusing in on those abs. Do a double check to make sure that belly button is still pulled in there a little bit. We have a couple more to go in this position. Actually, a few more. I lied, not a couple. Here we go, breathing. Now we have one more. Good. Okay, from here, we are going to keep our knees bent a little. If you're able to, you're going to just scoot your buns out just a touch more. One leg will stay bent and actually press evenly through the foot into the wall a little bit more. Opposite leg is going to straighten. And now with this press of this leg into the wall, I'm engaging one side of the abdominal muscles. And then this other straight leg is actually going to bend right in and then straighten back to the wall. So I'm actually engaging in to both sides here as I do this. Even my glutes on this bent leg are working a little bit here too. Again, making sure you keep that spine position happy. And you can go whatever position you want with your arms. I usually stick out to the side so I can make sure my shoulder blades stay glued so that I'm not using my upper body. And oh boy, I can feel those glutes working today. It's up to you if you want to point into those toes. I will be honest with you though, sometimes that causes cramping for me. Another good reason to use the LMNT. That does help prevent some of those cramps too. But just pay attention to how your body feels today, right? So we've got two more on this side, and then of course we're switching. Got to do both. Good. Okay, so this leg bends, opposite leg straightens out. Same idea, bend the toes if it's comfortable. Pressing through the whole foot on this bent leg side, and the knee comes into the chest. Whoops, I really wanted to get that wrap over with, and then goes back up to the wall. So again, watch that you're not digging too much pressure right into that tailbone. You still want to keep the spine position that you started with. And if you need to, just take a pause and kind of reset your position. There's nothing wrong with that either. Nice, controlled, slow breathing, making sure you're not straining with your neck as you do this too, right? And we have 3 more on this side. I just noticed I was actually curling my toes on that bent leg side, so make sure that everything stays nice and open. And I lost count, but I think we have one more here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna actually have both legs go straight this time. This one's a little bit harder. So I'm gonna bring one leg towards me as the opposite leg, right, presses into the wall. This time it's more the heel pressing, and then come back. So I'm using really upper and lower here. And again, you always use all abdominal muscles. You can't just use one muscle, but we bias a little bit more depending on which exercise we're doing. We're gonna get nice, again, keep this nice, slow, controlled motion here. If you want to even add a little bit more stretch in, you can grab behind that leg and give a little pull, but it should always feel good. It should be gentle, not like a, oh, kind of feeling, okay? That's definitely not the goal, ever, honestly. And I noticed I was moving my back a little, so I'm actually not gonna bring my leg quite as far away from the wall this time because I was cheating. I didn't mean to, but I was, it happens. All right, we've got this leg, and then one more on each leg here, making sure those shoulders stay relaxed. This always just makes me feel so good. Sometimes I'll even just rest with my legs right up against the wall like that. Okay, last one on the ground. You're gonna bend those legs again. This time both legs stay bent, arms are gonna come down by your side. I usually scooch back even a touch more for this one. It depends on what feels comfortable for you. This time you are gonna tuck that tailbone in a little bit more so the back is a little flatter. From here, I'm gonna lift my hips up. Again, I'm trying to press evenly into the wall. So I'm using hamstrings and glutes. You're gonna lift up as high as you can without losing your, again, good position in through the middle, right? And again, making sure that you're pushing relatively evenly right through those feet. Don't let those knees collapse in or out. And this is a good one. So if it feels too much to lift too high, just start with a little bum lift right off the ground, and that's totally good to start with. Right? As you go through, you might be able to lift a little bit higher there. Again, trying not to use that neck either. We've got a few more here on this side. And if you do find that it doesn't feel good to tuck that tail, then you can also let go of that position. The reason I say that is because you tend to activate the glutes a little bit more when you do that. We're going to do 2 more like this, and then we're coming up into a standing position. Here we go, 1 more to go. Notice it's still nice and controlled and slow. Yay, awesome. Okay, we're going to get right up onto our feet. All right, our next 2 are with our backs to the wall, and the 2 after that are facing the wall. So you are going to stand with your back flat against the wall to start. My head's going to hit something, so maybe not totally flat. Shoulder blades and back. From here, and hips. From here, you're going to walk your feet out, so we're at a little bit of an angle, but my back is still flat against the wall. So if you start to do this, you've probably gone out a little bit too far. Keeping my hands down, keeping my belly engaged, we're going to lift one heel up as I press into that opposite leg, and then it's a switch. So as I lift one up, I'm pressing down into that other side. So we're working really the whole chain here and getting those calf muscles engaged a little bit more than they were on the ground. This is actually called Pilates running, but it is a way more gentle form of running than if you were to run on the track, right? So this is great for both mobility and strength and posture, as you can see. So we're going to get a few more on each side. Nice and slow and controlled, of course. We're not sprinting. We're just jogging today. Good. We're going to do 1 more on each side. I notice I'm starting to come away from the wall, so I got to watch my own posture there, right? Okay, you're going to bring your feet out a little bit wider, so they're about hip width, maybe even shoulder width apart. You may need to walk them just a touch more forward, but not much. We're going to actually slide our bums right on down. My hair's getting stuck in the hook. And making sure that back is flat. We're really using the front. Oh my goodness gracious, that did not feel good. There's clearly a nail back there. No nails on your wall, I hope. So, let's start that one over. No, you don't have to start reps over, I promise. You're going to just make sure that you can keep things as flat as you can. And you're going to come down as far as you can to activate the front of those leg muscles, but still making sure, of course, that you can push yourself back up without having to arch away from the wall, right? And depending on your wall, some walls are easier to slide on than others. Mine's making some funny noises right now, but that's okay. Woo, that was a really loud. Sorry. Can't help but laugh at myself. What can I say? We're going to do 3 more like this. I may have a headache from hitting my head in the nail too, for that matter. Almost there. Wherever your hands are comfortable for this one, right? We got 1 more. And on that last one, I don't know if you saw that. Don't do what I just did. I locked my knees on accident. So we want to keep those muscles engaged so that you're not doing this. All right, I'm going to face the wall now. And for this one, I'm going to have my hands about chest height. And again, shoulder width apart or hip width apart. I'm going to bring 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. The front knee bends. I'm bringing this back leg back as far as I can to feel a nice stretch, but I want to make sure that my heel stays on the ground for this one. And you want to make sure that your back is flat, so you're not arching or rounding into things. So this is your starting position. You're going to take this back leg, and I'm going to gently come up and bring that knee up with me. So as I do that, I am not pushing for dear life into the wall. I'm not trying to knock anything over. In fact, you could do this one without the wall, but the wall gives you a little bit of balance and a little bit more stability. So stretch as I come back and strengthen and activate the hip and the abs as I come forward. You can turn those hands out just a touch to help open the shoulder joint a little bit too. Again, this one hopefully should feel good. We're getting a lot of strength and a lot of stretch at the same time. One of the reasons the wall is pretty awesome. Here, we've got a couple more on this side, and then we're switching it up. 1 more. and then switch. So same idea. And again, you may have one side that's tighter than another. So maybe, like me, you can't go back quite as far with one leg. That's what happens when you shatter your ankle. So you're gonna start with that heel down. Same idea, try not to press too hard into the wall. Really use those abs to bring that knee up. I gotta remember I can't go back so far. Sometimes my brain doesn't remember those things. What can I say? Exhale as you bring that knee in if you can. If you're not sure which way to breathe, the most important thing to remember is just to breathe. Oh, there was my ankle. See, it needed this exercise today. We're gonna do 3 more on this side, and then we just have 1 more exercise to go. You guys should give yourselves a big round of applause and a pat on the back for getting this done today. Last one, and then both feet are gonna come out. Again, we want a nice flat back, our tailbone tucked. And this one is a wall push-up. I'm gonna bring my feet apart a little bit just to give me a nice base. I'm gonna bring my body in, making sure I don't lead with my head. My elbows come behind, not flaring out to the side. We're getting 10 here. If you find at home that that's too many, right? If your arms are like, woo, no thank you, just do a few more. If you feel like you need more, you can do more. Nothing wrong with that. I'm giving you just a guidance here, right? We're gonna get 3 more in. 1, 2, and 3. Woohoo!